Working on the BDST probe prototype. Good evening, YouTube, here on a Sunday. It is 6:16 now in the evening. I am here with you on this, or at this workbench. I'm trying something a little different this time. You may have noticed, you may not have noticed, but this is not my Kodak ZE-1. No. This is the RCA Easy HD, H300 HD, I can't ever remember the small wonder, whatever. I wanted to try it out in this mode here and real quick and just see what it looked like. It's hard to see because you can't see what I'm looking at, but I'm touching, or not touching, but the camera element for recording there is what I'm circling, is on the side of the display. The display is actually over here. No, wait a minute. This way. Yeah, this way. Anyway, it's working. So, I didn't, as you guys probably know, I did not get to see my mother on Thursday. I usually go on Thursdays, and it didn't work out this week for that. Because of my tires, I didn't really want to try taking that donut that far. I'm not real comfortable driving with those around, so my daughter and her family was going to see Mom today, and I said, well, you mind if I tag along? She said no. They have just gotten a I think it's a 2009 Honda Odyssey minivan, and they've been wanting to have one for a while because of kids and hauling people everywhere and everything like that, so we went in that. Had a good visit. Got there around lunchtime. We waited in a room while Mom ate her lunch, and then had a good visit with her. She was absolutely happy to see us, things like that. So, you know, that was that. Now, I did tell her while I was there, of course, now Mom won't remember. She doesn't remember things. But I did tell her that I probably would not be back until the 1st of the month, at which time I can go ahead and get my tires and have my car back. My daughter, in the meantime, told me that next Saturday she's planning on coming to see Mom again. Her oldest daughter, Jordan, wants to come. She hasn't seen Nanny for a while. That's what the kids call my mother, is Nanny. And so we may get to go back. And I told her that. I said, well, you know, I may get to come back Saturday. I don't know. But I hope so, because that would give me a couple of visits before I, you know, and I don't even know what date that would be, but it would be closer to the 1st, I'm sure. So, like I said, that's that. Also, after that, I wasn't told about that either, was the fact that we were going to my son's house. His two boys, Bryce and Christian, had a birthday party for them today. I think it was actually Christian's actual birthday. Bryce's birthday was some time ago, but they celebrate them together, which a lot of kids do, or a lot of people do. Anyway, Bryce is 10, and Christian is 8. So that was a good time. Of course, there was a lot of kids there. You know how that works. And I got to visit with my son a little bit, talk to him, and so that was good. I'm going to try to, once I get my car fixed, to go down there, and I didn't know anything about it, and I didn't take a present or anything, so felt bad I didn't get anything for the boys. So I'm going to take them out maybe to eat and get them a little something at the store while we're out. So I'm going to try to do that. That's the plan anyway. Alright, on to what I'm doing this for. Now, this is mainly for Bob. You all know Bob. I know you all know Bob. Bob's a good guy. Get to know him if you don't know him. I ordered things last night online from Home Depot. You know, we're working on this BDST probe, and what we were planning on using was a PVC plastic pipe for the probe body. So I decided to go ahead and buy a few things from there so we can have some things to do some prototypes. You know how we love to do prototypes. And see what kind of situation we can get ourselves into. So what I did was to buy, and I'll turn the camera around for this part. Alright, before I actually get into the plastic pipe, the PVC, let's take a look at this. I finished this up the other day while I was doing something else, and got it pretty much ready to go. I've got the negative output for the high voltage here, positive here. This will be our 12 volt AC out, 12.6, 6.3 out, and this is our ground for those two outputs. So that's how that's going to work. This is the volume pot. Not really a volume pot in this case, but it's the voltage control knob, and that will again be changed to a 10-turn pot once that comes in. Good chance it may come in this coming week, so we're hoping for that. Now the only part I don't have yet, and I have not decided yet what to use, I have a couple options I can go with. I can go with a toggle switch here, which I'm leaning towards right now because of the size of the hole and things. Or I can use one of those round, and I don't even know if I've got one still up here on the bench. I did have one, but it's a round rocker switch is what it is, and they're primarily meant for 12 volts, but I found them now for regular line voltage type, and I'm thinking about buying one of those. There's a little bigger, obviously, hole that you'd have to drill. So for those, and I'm not really sure what I'm doing yet on that. So that's kind of up in the air. So anyway, that's that. Now on the piping, I had a little misconception problem. I thought what I thought was PVC is actually CPVC, and I didn't know the difference, and that's why I ordered both sizes of these, or not sizes, but both types of these. And you can see them here. Now the beige color one is actually CPVC. It's a smaller, and I quickly discovered this would not work for our purposes because it's too small. I mean, it's not going to be big enough. Now this behind it is the white one is the actual PVC, and that is pretty much the size that we're going to go with, I think. So that is going to be our thing. Now I did buy caps for it too, just to see how they fit, and they do fit, but they're tight. And I don't know about our plan is for these caps are to basically drill a hole in here, probably thread this one here, and put a notch in the pipe itself for the screw to fit into. This will hold the cap on. As tight as these are, I don't think we'll have any problems with them. But that is, I may even sand that down a little bit. But our probe will go on one end of this, and the BNC on the other. Now, I'm not a big fan of the BNC connector using those. I'm thinking just to run some coax through here, and one BNC on the other end, and be done with it. But you know, Bob, I understand why he wants to do it. More versatility. I can understand that. But I think, you know, that's just my opinion. So anyway. So I'm going to send some of this to Bob. This is a 2-foot section of pipe. I think it was $1 something at Home Depot. I also have ordered a identical pipe to this, except for the fact that it's a furniture grade. Now the furniture grade, for anybody that knows about those, they do not have the thickness that these actual pipes have, because they are not used for water service, and they are just what they, like I said, they are furniture grade, and the walls are not thick like this. And I wanted to try to get a measurement across here for Bob, so he can see exactly what kind of space we have. So let me put this down a little bit, and I'll do that real quick. I'll give it to you in millimeters, Bob. How's that? Looking like a 15 millimeters is what I'm seeing across there. Maybe not quite that much, but you can see it as well as I do, or I can, I think, if this camera focuses properly, which I'm hoping it does. Put it down just a little further so I can actually see it a little bit better. So it's very close to 15 millimeters across on the inner diameter. I think the wall thickness is a .068 on this. And now the furniture grade, like I said, would be much thinner than that, probably about half that width. So I'm thinking that would be the way to go for our probes, is the furniture grade. There's obviously no pressure needed, and maybe do that. So as a comparison, here's the CPVC. You can see what that looks like, and it is much smaller. That would only be about 10 millimeters. 10 millimeter inside diameter on this, a 15 millimeter inside diameter on that. So I think that should give you a good idea, Bob, of what we're dealing with on this. And like I said, again, once the furniture grade comes in, I've got that ordered. It's the same basic thing as this. It may have been a 5-foot section I bought. But anyway, I bought that as well as this just to see what the difference was. So I think that will do that. I do have 4 caps, and I'm going to send Bob a couple of those. And so let me see what he wants. He may want me to cut this for him to show him how it cuts and things. Alright, he had some things to say. Wanted to try out my new cutter. I bought a cutter while I was there, or while I was online. Now, I'm not a fan of the ones that are the ratcheting kind that you basically squeeze until it cuts through this pipe. For one thing, I never can seem to put enough pressure on those to cut through those pipes, even though they're probably easy for some people. And I didn't want to spend the extra money to buy the better one, so I bought this instead. I think this one was $15 or something like that, which is supposed to cut metal and plastic as well. So I may go ahead and try that out and see how well it works. So hang on there. If we can get Bob happy here, we'll do that and see how it works out. Anyway, let me open this up real quick. I think I'm going to cut one. Let me show you this one more thing before I forget it. Now, this is kind of what we're modeling this after, I believe. You guys may recognize this as a Heathkit signal tracer, actually from a T4 signal tracer. And this is kind of what we're shooting for. Now, on this one, the body here, the silver part, is 3.5 inches long, and the end caps are I'm not sure exactly how long they were, but I think measured 5 inches total length of the actual probe itself, not including the wire or the probe tip sticking out. So I think that was pretty much 5 inches from here to here, and or 5.5. I'm sorry. Anyway, whatever, 5 inches, I believe. Yeah, it was. So anyway, whatever that is, I think it's about an inch a piece for these caps. But now, obviously, the caps that go on this plastic may not be the same length. In fact, they're a little bit longer. But at the same time, they don't go on as far, unless I do something to shave them a little bit or use some type of adhesive, but lubricant to let them go on there easier. They just go on to maybe I'd say. Maybe 1/4 of an inch is all I can get them on there without actually hammering them on or something. And I don't want to do that. But this is actually about the right size. You can see that would actually fit over that pretty easy. So I think this will work out pretty good for our probe. Anyway, that's what we're going to try. Let me get this out of the package, and we'll see how easy this is to cut. Hang on. All right, Bob wanted about 6 inches of the tube, so I'll cut it there, and we'll send that to Bob. Alright, there we go. There's 6 inches. That should do him enough. And we'll go ahead and cut it there and see how hard this is to cut. Alright, there we go. That wasn't too hard. There's our piece for Bob. Cut off really nice on the end there. So that should do Bob just fine. Let's double check, make sure we're about 6 inches long. I have another way of checking that, but I'm not going to do it. We're a little short, but that's okay. Just getting an idea here. So, alright, that's good. Anywho, that's going to do me for this one. I just wanted basically to try the cutter out and to show Bob our different options that we're having here with this. I am curious to see if the cut-in makes the thing fit any better. No, still pretty hard to fit on there. I think I'm going to have to sand those down a little bit to get those to fit. Sometimes a different one will work better. Probably got a little burr on it too. I can feel some of it right there. So we'll get that deburred and then they'll fit alright, I think. So, alright, like I say, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see ya.